It has been more than 100 days since the January 6th attack on the Capitol, and there still has been zero comprehensive public accounting on exactly what happened that day. For example, Capitol Police initially said that fallen officer Brian Sicknick was injured while physically engaging with protesters. And that is what they said the day after the attack. It's how we reported, many did, day after day for over 3 months. Until the Washington, D.C. medical examiner ruled this week that Officer Sicknick died of natural causes. According to the medical examiner, Sicknick suffered 2 strokes and showed no evidence of internal or external injuries, though the medical examiner did note that all that transpired played a role in Sicknick's condition. And we know, not from the medical examiner, but from some incredible New York Times reporting, that Sicknick was sprayed with some kind of substance, most likely bear spray, by the attackers on January 6th. But that's a perfect example of what I'm finding frustrating about January 6th. Almost everything we've learned about the events those days has come from the sources off the record or court filings or journalists scraping through video or leaked details from closed-door briefings and internal documents. Yesterday, for example, in a hearing about the attack, Democratic Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren of California revealed new details about a message that went out to Capitol Police officers the morning of the 6th.
So if an officer said in one of the reviews on the morning of January 6th, and this is a quote, a radio broadcast was sent to all outside units, attention, all units on the field were not looking for any pro-Trump in the crowd. We're only looking for any anti-pro-Trump who wants to start a fight.
Now, the Capitol Police pushed back on that today, issuing a statement saying that this was one of many different back and forths throughout the day. Congressman Lofgren said the key detail came from an internal investigation. But again, we learn of this from a hearing. Capitol Police try to push back. And so what are we to make of it? So far, the only public report we have gotten since January 6th is that 13-page security review from retired Lieutenant General Russell Honore. That's helpful information for the future, but it's not good enough. We still do not have an official tick-tock of the events of that day, and we need it. Nearly 20 years ago when this country, very famously, came under attack, we formed a national commission to fully investigate what happened. And the 9/11 Commission produced a more than 500-page report, a public, comprehensive accounting of exactly what happened. That is the kind of investigation and work product we need to understand what happened on January 6th and to move forward. Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat of New York, is the chair of the House Democratic Caucus, a member of the House Judiciary Committee, and he joins me now. Congressman, where does this commission stand right now?
Well, we are moving forward to try to arrive at common ground with the Republicans so we can form a bipartisan commission that can comprehensively study the events of January 6th and the events leading up to January 6th, including the radicalization that perhaps led to the mob storming the Capitol that day, and then prepare a comprehensive report, as you've articulated, that was done in connection with 9/11 and report to the American people. And the Speaker has made clear that it's important for it to be bipartisan, but that, of course, requires an agreement in good faith with the other side of the aisle. To try to reach that agreement, she's indicated that we're willing for the commission to be evenly split between Democrats and Republicans, and for the chair, which would be a Democratic appointment, and the vice chair, presumably a Republican appointment, to jointly have the ability to issue subpoenas as opposed to simply the chair having unilateral authority. The major area of disagreement right now seems to be on the scope, Chris, because the Republicans, to some degree, are in fantasy land as it relates to their wish lists as to what the scope of the commission should be.
I want to read just to reiterate this idea. So, you know, this is a fairly standard kind of setup for these sorts of things, right? Evenly split, chair, vice chair, some sort of agreement for subpoenas. Pelosi has agreed to make the panel evenly split between Democrats and Republicans to change the way subpoenas would be issued, requiring a joint decision by the chair and vice chair or after a majority vote. Tell me what the scope debate is.
So our view is that the commission should be focused on the events of January 6th, the violent attack on the Capitol, the incitement of an insurrection, the perpetration of the big lie, and the role that it played in the radicalization that we saw manifest itself by the storming of the Capitol. That's fairly straightforward. The events of 9/11 were the scope of the 9/11 Commission, not a whole host of other conspiratorial views or political fantasies that some may have had at the time. Right now, Leader McCarthy has indicated that he wants the scope of this commission to include the Black Lives Matter protests that took place in the summer of 2020. He wants it to include Antifa and the fact that
whoa. He wants the January 6th commission to include Black Lives Matter?
That's correct. And he, in fact, Chris, if you can believe it or not, said that at his press conference today. This is not political hyperbole. This is his negotiating position. It's an embarrassment and it's a joke. And it's just not going to happen. And so we're committed to trying to find common ground. Hopefully, some reasonable folks on the other side of the aisle will step in and it will become clear that Kevin McCarthy's position is untenable.
You know, I have to say, like, I understand this partisan wrangling and the ridiculous bad faith of McCarthy there. My interest as a journalist, as someone who's been covering this, is I've just found the level of transparency wholly inadequate and maddening. I mean, we found out about a person who died from a local news package that happened from a sibling who reported it. And then we find out about this person who's in a Trump administration official because of either caught on video or there's a court filing. Like, all of it just comes out in these different streams. And that's how we find out about this very important thing. No one was out there the next day doing the kind of briefing you see after huge mass casualty events or big things. I mean, it has been crazy to me how terrible the communication of information about this thing that we all witnessed has been.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.